Pluto goes into Aquarius. Finally, for the next 20 years at 12:29 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, November 19th, 2024. And I say finally because Pluto's been going back and forth between Capricorn and Aquarius since March of 2023. Now, Pluto's job is to break things down, to below the foundation even, and create something new and wonderful. I always think of it like the phoenix, crashing and burning and then flying up into something wonderful. Now, in Capricorn, Pluto's been all about breaking down institutions. So our governments, our politics, banking, religion, anything that's a big institution has really been going through a big overhaul these last few years for sure. And we can certainly attest to that in the States here. So Pluto, the planet of trust and betrayal, there's always a shadow side, is going into Aquarius. And Aquarius represents humanitarianism, humanity in general, and the power structure should shift from a vertical, top-down, one rules the many, to a more horizontal, where the many rule as one. So hopefully we'll be seeing that mature over the next few years. Now, the first few years, Pluto goes into a new sign. It can be a little rocky, so keep your seatbelts on. But Aquarius also rules technology. So those things that we were hearing about, kind of fears about AI and that kind of thing, that was a perfect introduction into Pluto into Aquarius. But we're going to see over this next 20 years amazing medical discoveries with technology. The internet's going to be totally different. I mean, like I can even remember, in my own lifetime, I've seen it go from radios to DVDs to cassette players to Netflix, all that kind of stuff. So things can really change. So if you find yourself being kind of negative and being paranoid and obsessive and that kind of thing, that's the lowest level of Pluto. The more neutral, if you're feeling like that, just get out there and clean your garage, clean your closet. And the most positive, of course, is to embrace change and to let the new come in and something wonderful. And if you want a little bit more information, I'm going to do an expanded version of this where I'm going to talk about things that are more personal. Just go to the icon below, the square, and then go to the circle and look for videos or my playlist, Astrology 2. Bye! Well, hello everyone! Okay, so we're starting something new, the expanded version of my shorts here. And I'm not sure how this is all going to go, so just hang in there with me. These first few may be a little rough, I'm not sure, but anyway, Pluto's going into Aquarius, so it's time to start something new. Okay, so the focus of these videos is to help you see what these transits that I'm kind of alerting you to in the shorts, because that's what, for me, every once in a while it's kind of like, oh my gosh, there's a new moon tomorrow. Or this planet is going retrograde, and I kind of wish I had some triggers to remind me. So doing these videos is helping me a lot with that. So, but beyond the triggers, now I'm going to be taking information so that you can start to apply that to your own chart and your own life. So to get started, first thing we want to do is for you to get out your chart and look and see where you've got Aquarius. This is a sign for Aquarius here, and I don't know which way it goes, so let's do that. Okay, now again, if you haven't got a chart, no biggie. It's really easy to get one. Just literally Google free astrology chart and it'll explain that. And again, in my astrology for beginners, I've got a lot more detail on how to find this kind of stuff and that sort of thing. So, and I am going to be using for what we're doing in these expanded videos, especially at the beginning, I'm going to be using more what I would call sun sign astrology. And that's because, so if you know your birthday, you can get quite a bit out of what I'm going to be teaching, even if you don't find your own, get your own chart or can't quite figure it out. Because the sun is pretty much like a clock. I mean, even though there's 360 degrees in a solar year, right, as it goes around the circle, and there's 365 days in our calendar. Well, we've got leap years and this, that, and the other, and things aren't perfect. Remember, astrology is an art as well as a little bit of science in there. Don't tell any scientists I said that. They'll get mad. But anyway, so like for example, with Aquarius, it pretty much goes in January 21st, sometimes January 20th. The sun goes into Aquarius pretty much every year. So, so if you look at your chart and you see that it says that you're a sun sign, and this is the way it's always going to be written up like this. It'll give the sign of the planet, whatever it is, in this case sun, is at 5 degrees, and then the sign it's in, Aquarius, in 31 minutes. So this could be Venus or Mercury or anything like that. And just remember, there's 30 degrees in a sign, all right, and 60 minutes in a degree, just to let you know that. I'll remind you about that too. So if you were born on January 26th, you can pretty much go, well, 26, 25, 24, 23, 21. You know, I'm 4 or 5 degrees into Aquarius. So you can kind of make that assumption and be pretty close. And for the planets that are really far out there, like the slower planets, that's really as close as you need to get. For something like the moon or something, you can't quite do that. It moves so fast. But anyway, so the same thing, you know, with this, you can find it on your chart as well as you can kind of estimate it. And so really with Pluto going into Aquarius, if you do have anything 10 degrees on either side of that 0 degrees of Aquarius, you better pay attention because it's affecting you right now. I mean, this is Pluto changing signs as well as if it's going over your sun or any of your planets. This is a biggie, okay? You may not notice it like, you know, the day it happens, but really give yourself, you know, this is a transit that's going to be in effect for a couple of years, actually. So, and you're going to be experiencing, again, with Pluto, very subtle inner changes. And Pluto, I got to warn you, is kind of an owie, all right? I mean, you know, when sun went over, or when Pluto went over my sun, you know, I got divorced, and, you know, things change. I mean, that's what Pluto represents, is that change for the good eventually, even if it's ripped out of your hands, basically. Okay, so again, with Pluto, one of the best things to do is embrace change and not try to fight it. The more you fight it, the harder it gets. Okay. Now, so Pluto has been, like I said, kind of going back and forth between Capricorn and Aquarius. And this is the kind of information you'll get in these more extended versions. In that here you can see Pluto went in, the first time it went into Aquarius was March of 2023. And it stayed in there until June of 2023. Then it was back in Capricorn until January of 2024, which it was in till September of 2024. And that's what when I was talking about AI, that this summer it seemed like there seemed to be so many flags coming up or scary things about AI taking us over and that sort of thing. That's a perfect expression of Pluto into Aquarius, that we are having these fears and that sort of thing. And then it went back into Capricorn just for a little nosedive between September and November of 2024. And I was concerned about that because Capricorn, as I said in the short, is the top-down structures, right? Power, all the power at the top, and wanting to, you know, just tell the people what to do, whereas Aquarius is more like the people want a good say in what's going on in their lives, like things like unions and that sort of thing are very much Aquarian type institutions. And so I was a little worried about that little dip back into Capricorn during our elections here in the US, but I'm not going to get so much involved in that kind thing. I want to stay focused on how this is going to affect you personally. Although that's probably could be pretty personal. Okay. So the more with Pluto, the more you embrace change, the better off you're going to be. And just be prepared. There's going to be some stuff, if you've got anything on in that Aquarius up to 10 degrees and, you know, back in Capricorn, 10 degrees even, you've either had a Pluto transit, you're having it right now, or you're going to have it in the very, very near future. So just be aware of that for sure. Okay. So, and I am going to be maybe putting you on pause a little bit as I collect my thoughts, and don't want to bore you with that kind of thing. Okay, so the other thing I just want to mention too, just to reinforce, the best way to deal with these Pluto transits, like I said, is to embrace change and keep the idea of the highest good for all. You're going to feel ambitious though with Pluto. Pluto does make you want to work hard and get ahead and that kind of thing, but just remember, you don't want to step on other people on your way up the ladder for sure. Okay, so I think at this point, and do remember the Phoenix, that if you do get things pulled out from under you or that sort of thing, just go lick your wounds for a little bit, but then come back and embrace that change and see how that has cleared things out for you so you can go ahead clear-eyed into some new and exciting adventure. Okay, so I am going to put you on pause here for a minute and I want to look at the charts. So hang on. Okay, so here we go. Here's your basic chart. And I've got Aries on the first house of the rising sign. And Capricorn up at the midheaven, Cancer down at the nadir, and Libra, of course, on the 7th house cusp. So that's just your generic chart. So we are thinking about Pluto moving from Capricorn into Aquarius. So I'll just put the glyph right there to remind you. And also, I'll put this here too. In case you haven't noticed, I like shiny, sparkly things. Okay, so remember now, if you're in this area right here, if you've got your sun or any planet, rising sign, whatever, around this, I would say up to 10 degrees Aquarius and up to 25 degrees Capricorn still. If you're anywhere in there, put a 10-degree orb on it, definitely a 5-degree. You're going to be feeling personally the effects of this Pluto transit. So what you want to do, if you're getting it right on, let's say, your sun, you want to focus on how you're going to change. Don't worry about anybody else. Don't try to change other people, because that's just going to come back and blow back in your face, and it's not going to be any fun at all. And the other thing too is, now you will feel ambitious with Pluto. The big thing, though, to remember is the highest good for all. So instead of trying to make it all about you and how, oh, if I get this and the other person won't get it, and, I got to, just remember there's plenty for everybody. You don't need to worry about that if I don't have it, I can only have it if somebody else doesn't have it. That's the old Capricorn way of thinking. Aquarius, keep focusing on the highest good of all. Now, the Aquarians aren't the only one that are affected by this. So Aquarius is fixed air. So again, that's mental air, fixity, a little on the stubborn side. So again, Aquarians, we talk about they're a little bit, eccentric. They're kind of up in their heads quite a bit. And another negative side of Aquarius is there's a coldness, a coolness. There can be a sense of ruthlessness when we're taking that negative side. So that's why I'm keep trying to remind you, if you feel those kind of urges coming on, go meditate, go take a hot bath, whatever you do to calm yourself down, have a conversation with yourself, and just remember, everybody can benefit from this, and keep repeating that. Okay, So, but this isn't just affecting Aquarius. Remember, we also have the polarity of Leo. So here we have fixed air, and Leo is fixed fire. So just remember, whenever a planet affects one side of the zodiac, the other side of the zodiac is going to be triggered also. So for those Leos, now they're going to be seeing it more coming in from other people. So they're going to find bosses or communities at work at stuff where they seem like they're struggling a lot against, you know, these sort of Pluto type people can be kind of bullies and things like that. And the same orb, same idea. Pluto typically goes into, the sun goes into Pluto on the 23rd of July, sometimes the 24th. So again, if you're born, you know, July 28th, you can just go, okay, the 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th. I'm about 5 degrees, my sun is about 5 degrees Leo. And you're definitely in the orb of this Pluto transit. So Pluto's going to be opposing your sun or whatever planet happens to be down at those early degrees. And what that just means is, instead of coming from inside of you, this Pluto energy, it's going to be reflected back to you. So again, you may be having a little bit of difficulties in relationships. Again, don't even think about trying to change the other person. That's just going to create more resistance towards you. So don't think about, domination or anything like that. You want to, or if you find yourself wanting to meddle into other people's affairs, that sort of thing, step back and say, whoa, wait a minute, what am I doing here? And also remember, you can arouse suspicion and opposition from other people. You may be like, well, I just think this is a great idea for work. If we move the water fountain to another room or the coffee maker or something like that. Somebody else may see that as you're trying to buck their power. And the other thing to keep in mind, especially during just this transit in general, is that Mars is right down here. Now, Mars is, as we speak, is about 5 degrees of Leo, and I'll do another video on that separately, but it's going to be going retrograde. So as you can imagine, Pluto and Mars in opposition, that could get pretty crazy, okay? Because remember, Mars is the tower in tarot, Pluto is judgment. So you talk about blowing up your foundations, and Mars is going to be going over this point 3 times. So get prepared. And especially if you've got those early degree Leo planets. Now, of course, we've covered fixed fire. There's also fixed water, that's Scorpio, and fixed earth, which is Taurus. Now this is also gonna, I'll use another, I love my little symbols here. Okay, we'll do that for marking out Taurus there. Again, that's an opposition, but what that's gonna set up is a square, and hang on just a sec. So what a square does, it kind of sets up more like a test. Like, can you really handle this Pluto energy here? And we've got, so if you're early degree Scorpio, and just to let you know, Scorpio changes signs typically, let's see, where is it? Around October 24th. So again, you can add a few days on either side of that. 24th, sometimes the 23rd. And then Taurus, about April 20th, 21st, right in there. So again, you can add 5 days or subtract 5 to 10 days, really, to get that 10 degree orb. But what this is, Pluto's going to be actually testing that energy. And Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, so it can get pretty intense here. And I also forgot to mention, just to let you know about these larger changes with Pluto. Like, I became astrologically aware when Pluto was in Scorpio, and that was it went into Scorpio about 1982, 83, and then went into Sag in 1995. But during that time when Pluto was in Scorpio, we had a huge influx of information about incest. Oprah Winfrey came out and publicly said that she had been violated as a child. So that became more of a living room conversation than a hidden conversation. HIV came out totally. I mean, yes, it mostly affected the gay population, but it affected everybody's attitude towards sex. So again, Scorpio is our sex, death, and other people's money. So those changes did happen. And then when Pluto went into Sagittarius in 1995, a big, Sag rules internationalism and Pluto. So we got a lot more international terrorism. 9/11 happened during this time. So we just have to, we saw the terror from an international point of view, which would be Sag. And then Pluto went into Capricorn in 2008. And for those of you who know what happened in 2008, that's when the housing market collapsed and the stock market. So there was a lot of issues going around, again, with banking. The government and taxpayers paid them out, but what's going to happen to corporations and that sort of thing. So anyway, I wanted to mention that right quick too. And oh my goodness, I'm already up to 19 minutes. So I will just mention again, watch out, if you've got these early degree Scorpio or Taurus, all four of the fixed signs are going to be influenced by this. So again, and physical health too. Don't push yourself physically in all four of these signs. If you think there's something, if you don't feel good about something, go to the doctor, check it out before it becomes big, right? And just keep remembering to think win-win. There's plenty for everybody, right? And also, all four of these signs too, just be aware of your environment, your situation. There could be, this could also be, especially with this Mars down here, you could get some violence in your life, or just some really, or just something really crappy, like you get a DUI or something like that. So be very mindful about going to the bars and getting a little too, what, and all that kind of thing. And I'll end on a little bit happier note. The trions. Okay, so Pluto's going into like I said, a fixed air sign. So the other two air signs, Gemini, and then down here, Libra, this is where Pluto is going to be your friend. You are going to feel more power, more focus, more clarity than you've probably felt in your whole life. So take advantage of it. If you're feeling this energy and you're not doing anything about it, if you're saying, well, I'll just wait till, I'll wait, or, da-da-da. No, take it by the horns, the Taurus horns. No, do use this energy to propel yourself forward. Still keep in mind, you don't want to get too heavy duty, but you do want to, take advantage of this great Pluto energy that you've got coming into you. So great opportunity for positive change. Okay, so I've gone on way too long, but I did want to give you a little bit more of a insight into what might be happening to you personally. Oh, and I should also say for Libra, the sun goes into Libra like September 23rd. sometimes the 24th, but the 23rd typically. So again, you can add or subtract 5 to 10 days on either side of that. And then the sun goes into Gemini May 21st, usually once in a while the 22nd. And again, you can add 5 or 10 days to see if you are getting getting affected by this very personally. Okay, you guys, I'm just going to say from there to here, from here to there, funny things are everywhere. So take care, and this is a new thing for me, so hopefully it'll get smoother and better as we go along. And let me know what you think and if you want something different. Okay, bye!